What comes to mind when you think of Japan? Hey, what's going on, everyone? 今日はロスに住んでいる9人のアメリカ人に日本のことについていろいろ質問してみました。日本に行ったことがある人や日本に興味を持っている人など、ある程度日本のことについて何らかの知識を持った人たちに今回インタビューをしました。そんなことが頭に浮かぶのと私も思わず声に出して笑ってしまった予想外の返答をたくさんもらいました。インタビューに入る前に今日のフレーズを紹介します。今日のフレーズは What comes to mind comes to mind は思い浮かぶを意味し What comes to mind は何が思い浮かびますかになります。何々と聞いて何が思い浮かびますかは What comes to mind when you think of 何々何々と聞いて最初に思い浮かぶものは何ですかは What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of 何々になります。例えば日本の文化と聞いて何が思い浮かびますかは What comes to mind when you think of Japanese culture 日本と聞いて最初に思い浮かぶものは何ですか What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Japan という具合に使います。それではインタビューを見ながら What comes to mind の使い方を身につけてアメリカ人が日本についてどう思っているのかを見ていきましょう。What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Japan?
The first thing that popped into my mind was cute things. Cute things like stuffed animals and then anime.
A lot of Japanese art, the haiku.
An island.
Big city, Tokyo's the first thing that comes to mind.
The tatemae and honne culture.
The cherry blossoms, lots of drinking, and very polite, super polite culture.
The food.
The pizza.
Pizza.
It had corn on it and it was called California pizza.
Right now it's shirunashi dandanmen.
What is that?
It's soupless kind of ramen. Shirunashi tantanmen is the right word. And I had it in Hiroshima and it's so good.
Where is the first place in Japan that comes to mind?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
I guess Tokyo.
Kyoto.
Kyoto.
It would have to be Osaka or Kyoto.
Osaka.
Osaka.
Osaka, because basically from what I watch on YouTube is a lot of comedians which happens to come from Osaka. My favorite in particular is Ariyoshi, a very funny guy.
What comes to mind when you think of Japanese culture?
Sumo.
Animation.
City life. Train, subway. Yes.
Vagueness.
Honor.
I often visualize the bow. I think of a very etiquette-driven culture.
Samurai. I'm sorry.
The kofu.
The rich history. Of course, compared to America, Japan is much older. So there's a lot of shrines and a lot of ancient culture that's embedded in the modern culture itself.
What comes to mind when you think of Japanese people?
Busy.
Oh, that's a good one. Are they really being truthful with me? Do they really like me?
Kind, humble, and well-mannered.
Respect.
I think of a very polite country.
Polite.
Very polite.
Very polite.
Super polite. I'm sorry, super polite.
What are 3 Japanese foods that come to mind?
Sara udon. I would have to say unagi and I would have to say probably takoyaki.
Natto, ugh, ramen, and udon.
Tofu, ramen, and I guess sushi.
Yakisoba, sushi, and I don't know, nabe.
Ramen, the karagedon, and for me, probably, what do they call that? The udon.
Tonkatsu, yakisoba, and sushi.
Eel, Japanese beans, sushi.
Ramen, curry, and sushi.
Monjayaki, okonomiyaki, and ramen.
What are some Japanese tourist sites that come to mind?
Well, recently I learned of the Izumo Taisha, so I want to go visit that at some point. I guess Tokyo Tower too. It's kind of like the Japanese Eiffel Tower.
Fushimi Temple in Kyoto?
Of course, Mount Fuji, Tokyo Tower, was that Kiyomizu Temple, the basics.
Tokyo. I want to say that's probably all most foreigners know is, Tokyo.
Well, obviously Tokyo. Mount Fuji.
The Osaka Castle. Also the Golden Temple, as well as the Tokyo Tower.
Temples, parks, and the big Buddha.
Fujisan, the Kamakura Daibutsu, and the Nara Daibutsu.
I forgot what it's called in Japanese, but it's called Edo Wonderland, where the theme park is Edo Jidai, and you get to dress up as your traditional, Ronin or samurai or any kind of daimyo. You can dress up in cosplay, which I would assume many people that are non-Japanese would like to visit.
Who is the first famous Japanese person that comes to mind?
Ichiro.
Ichiro, of course.
Ken Watanabe.
Ken Watanabe.
I guess Akira Kurosawa. I really think of him almost immediately because I've seen a couple of his films and his name is everywhere if you ever study film at all. So, yeah.
Emperor Hirohito.
Masasashi? He writes Naruto? And that's the only thing I can think of right now.
Ooh, I'd have to say Nagase because my favorite drama was Ikebukuro Westgate Park.
Antonio Inoki.
日本の有名人といえばアントニオ猪木。いやー、予想していなかった意外な返答ばかりでした。というか皆さん本当に日本のことについて物知りですね。本音と建前の文化、汁なし担々麺、古墳時代や昭和天皇など生粋の日本人でも真っ先に思い浮かばないのではないでしょうか。イントロでも言いましたが、今回は日本に関心を持っているアメリカ人にインタビューをしたので、アメリカ全国の考え方を反映しているわけではありません。まあこういう考え方を持ったアメリカ人もいるという風に解釈していただければ嬉しいです。最後に皆さんにちょっとしたお願いがあります。実は今年の10月に日本でハパ英会話のセミナーを開催する予定です。そこで一人でも多くの方の希望に沿ったセミナーを実現できるようにハパ英会話のサイトでアンケートを実施しております。アンケートのリンクは下のコメント欄に貼りました。とても簡単なアンケートなのでぜひご協力のほどよろしくお願いします。Thanks for tuning in today, and what comes to mind when I think of Japan? Delicious food and amazing people. I will catch you again next week. Take it easy. Peace.